Hi everyone, my name is Alysha and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so excited because I've got a super exciting tutorial for you guys. Today we are making Taylor Swift's Cardigan from Folklore or Red. I made Red because Red's my favorite album. If you saw a couple weeks ago, I had a tutorial for the red scarf. You know what scarf I'm talking about. Anywho, so we've got this really fun tutorial. I think that this looks amazing. I can't wait to wear this, like the stars and everything, all the cute details. It's so great, and it's honestly not that hard. There's just like a couple stitches that you need to learn and then you are good to go. So I'll let you know all of the materials and I'm so excited. And if you guys make this, I would love to see it. Also, the holidays are coming up. This would be an amazing gift for any Swifties in your life. So good luck. I also just want to give a very special shout out to the students that I have been a teacher's assistant for this semester. And I know my students are all huge Taylor Swift fans, so this one is for you. So here's a quick rundown of what we're going to do. We're going to start with the back panel, which is just a plain old rectangle. That's where it is. And then next, we are going to make the front panels, like the stuff that will cover your chest. And this is where it is, right here. And we'll have a right and a left. Then we are going to make the sleeves, which is another just like really big rectangle that's going to basically like hot dog fold so it can wrap around your arm. And so like that little part at the bottom is the wrist, but that just, it's really simple. So like it'll just kind of like be a couple decreases to cinch in. But yeah, so realistically it'll be more of like this big square, like rectangle thing for your sleeve. And that's where that is. And then we are just going to make our little stars, which go on the arms, and then just add our buttons and we will be done. Okie dokie, so we're gonna work on the back panel first. It's gonna be super easy because we're just making a big rectangle to cover your whole back. So what we're going to do is start with a slip knot and figure out how many chains you would need to do to go from shoulder to shoulder, or like how wide you want your cardigan to be. And I have a little condition for you. It needs to be in multiples of 12 plus 2. So I am going to do 84 plus 2, so 86. So just gonna start my chain. Alright, so now that you've got your chain, what you're going to do is count 2 away from the hook and then put a double crochet in the third loop from the hook. So I yarned over, inserted, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. And you are going to continue doing this all the way down the row, just making a double crochet in every single stitch all the way down. Okay, so now I've got a double crochet in every single stitch, and I'm going to chain 3 at the end, flip my work, and now I want to make 4 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to start cabling, which is like when it looks like your knits are braided. And this gets a little bit confusing, so pay close attention. So we're going to make treble crochets. So it's like a double crochet, but kind of like add another loop. So instead of yarning over once, you're going to yarn over twice. And so you're going to skip 2 stitches, and then you're going to go and do a front post treble crochet. So when I say front post, instead of going into the hole that you would usually go into, you pick up the post, that thing, and do your stitch like with your hook through it. So I inserted my hook and I'm pulling 1 through, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's your first front post treble crochet. We're going to put another one in the stitch directly next to it. So yarn over twice, insert your hook in that post, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. Amazing. Now we're going to go back to those stitches that we skipped and put treble crochets in those too. So we're going to go to this first stitch. So we are going to yarn over twice and put our hook in behind that post and pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And now we have one post left, that one stitch left that we missed. So we are going to put another treble crochet. So we're going to put one by picking up that post and pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So it doesn't look like much now, but it's just starting the cross, and it will become a nice like braided look soon. So now I just want you to do 8 regular double crochets in the following stitches. So make sure that you're picking up the right one, not the one with the stitch in the post. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now we are going to start another cable. So I'll show you how to do it again. So yarn over twice, skip this one, and into the third, we're doing a front post triple crochet. I don't know. And pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And yarn over twice and go into the next one beside it. Pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And now we're going to put it on this post. Pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice and into that very last post. So pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And now we are just going to put 8 more regular double crochets as we go down the line. Alright, so we're just going to continue this pattern where we have our cabling and then 8 regular double crochet stitches all the way to the end. And at the end there will only be 4 stitches left after you finished your last cable. So just do 4 double crochets and I will meet you once we get to the end of the row. Alright, so I've got my cabling all started and I'm at the end of my row. So once again we chain 3. Flip our work, and then we're starting with 4 double crochets. Okay, so this is the front side of your work and this is the back side. So this is going to be the part that's going to be against your skin. So to keep that cabling nice and popped out and like 3D, we need to help push it out. So while we're working on this back side, once we get to the cabling, we're going to do a back post double crochet. So we are going to pick up that cabling stitch with our hook like that. So yarn over, pick it up, and put a double crochet. And then we are going to pick up the one next to it and double crochet. And now these two back here are hidden a little bit, so you kind of need to go digging for it to do that back post. And double crochet, and last one, back post, double crochet. And now we just have 8 regular double crochets. And now we're back to cabling, so we are going to go and start that back post. Starting with the stitch that's closest and most available to you, and put in a double crochet. And then the one next to it, back post, double crochet. And now we're going digging for these ones. So underneath, and double crochet, and last one, and double crochet, and now just 8 regular double crochets. So keep repeating that for all of your cabling all the way down the row, and I will meet you at the end of the row. So again, we're at the end of the row, and so we chain 3, flip our work over, and make 4 regular double crochets. And now pretty much what we just did on the back, we're doing to the front. So we're doing front post double crochets instead of back post now. So since they're all lined up in a row, it's super, super easy. So just yarn over once, pick up that first one, and make a double crochet. And into the next one. And into the next one. And into the last one. Just like that. Super easy. And now just 8 regular double crochets until you get to the next cabling. Alright, so we're back to the cabling, so now we're going to start our front post double crochets. So that's the first one, that's the second, third, and fourth. And now just 8 regular double crochets, and repeat those front post double crochets once you get to the cabling again, and do that all the way down the row. So now we're at the end of that row and we've done a complete crossover. So we're going to start the crossover again, but it's a little bit tricky because we are going from the back side. So make sure to chain 3 at the end of the row and start with 4 regular double crochets. Okay, so we're back to our treble crochets, but we do them in the back post instead of the front post now. So yarn over twice, we skip this one, we skip the second one, and we are going into the third one. So we're going into that back post right there. And 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over twice, and we go into the back post of the one right next to it. Pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, oops, and pull through 2, and yarn over twice, and we're going over to this one right here, the first one that we skipped. And this is a little bit tricky, but I'm picking that up and pull through. And pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2, and find that very last one, goes into the post, and pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Fantastic. It was a bit of a marathon, but we got there, and so now we just have 8 regular double crochets. And we're back to some cabling. So remember, we are skipping the first one and the second one. Yarn over twice and back post into the third. Pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Yarn over twice into the one directly next. Pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. Pull through 2, and now we're doing the crossover. So now we go into the very first stitch that we skipped, yarn over twice, and pick up that post, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, oops, and pull through 2, and then the last stitch, which is just left over right there, yarn over twice, and pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. And now we just have regular 8 double crochets as we go down the row. And just keep repeating for each little cabling piece. And I will meet you at the end of the row. Okie dokie, so now we've started a new cable, new crossover, and we're at the end of the row again. So we're chaining 3, flipping our work, and starting off with 4 regular double crochets. Okay, and now that we're to our first cabling, now we are just going to do 4 front post double crochets. So we go 1, 2, and then dig from behind, 3 and 4. So I'm picking up the first one, and then picking up the second one, 2, and then from behind here, I'm picking up this third one, and then the very last one here. So very simple, and then just 8 regular double crochets. And now we're back to the cabling, so 4 front post double crochets. So I'm picking up the very first one that's closest to me, and then the second one in line, and then from behind, and last one. Great, so that's what it's looking like. And now just 8 regular double crochets, and repeat this all the way down the row, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. All right, so we finished another row, and we're at the end, so chain 3. Flip your work and make 4 just regular double crochets. And now, since we're on the back side, we are going to put 4 back post double crochets, and they're laid out very nicely for us, so it's really, really simple. So I'm just going into that back post, picking up the first one, and making a double crochet. Then into the second one, double crochet. Third one, double crochet, and fourth one, and double crochet. And now just 8 regular double crochets. And we're back to the cabling, so now we just have 4 back post double crochets. So that's 1. Picking up the second one, 2. Picking up the third one, 4, 3. And the fourth one, 4. And just 8 more regular double crochets, and repeat that for all the rest of your cabling as you go down the row. Alright, so we're at the end of the row, chain 3, and we are actually back to where we started. So we're just going to keep repeating the cycle that we've been making for these cables all the way up your back until you have enough to cover from like where your pants would hit to the tops of your shoulders. So that's how long your cardigan will be. So I'll show you one last time just for this variation, and then I'll put a timestamp on the screen for if you need to go back to see how to do each row. So I'm starting off with my 4 regular double crochets. And now we're making a treble crochet, and we're skipping the first one, skipping the second one, and going into the third. Yarn over twice, go into the one directly next to that. Yarn over twice. So here's my back panel, all done. And now we're going to work on the front pieces. So a little bit of math, I'm sorry, it's not that hard though. So whatever amount that you chained at the bottom here to start, divide it in half and find the next closest multiple of 12. So I did 80 something for my first chain. So dividing that in half, and then the closest multiple of 12 is 48. And then plus 2 so that you can turn on your chain at the end. So I'm total doing a chain of 50 to start off my front panel. So this is what the front is going to look like. So a few less rows, and then we're going to do some decreases so that it makes that kind of like V-neck shape, like the cardigan. But it is very, very simple. I will put the timestamp back on the screen. You're just going to do the exact same kind of cabling that you did on the back, just repeated for the front. And you are going to do 22 rows of that regular cabling, and then I will show you how to do the decreases. Okay, so for this cabling, you've got a front side and a back side. The front side has the cabling like pushed forward a little bit. So for one side, you're going to start at the beginning of row 22 and start your decreases. And for the other one, you are going to start your decreases at the end of the row. So for this one, where the like decrease is going to the left, I started my decreases at the start of row 22. So for each panel, you need to remember to decrease on the same side every single time. So just to remember, you could just put like a little marker. I'm putting a little paper clip just to remind myself that every time I get to the side, there needs to be a decrease. So now if you're working on the other side and you want your decreases to go to the right, you're going to do your 22nd row just like normal all the way down, and then we're going to make a decrease in the last 2 stitches. So I'll show you how to do that. So I only have 2 stitches left to do at the end of the row, and I'm decreasing on the left side of the front. So to do the decrease, I'm going to yarn over, insert, start my double crochet, pull through 2, stop, yarn over again, insert into the next stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, and pull through all 3, and that's a decrease. So I'm chaining 3, flipping my work. Oops. And now, since our little marker's on the side, we need to go ahead and make another decrease right away. Inserting my hook, pull 1 through, pull through 2, yarn over again, insert into the next stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 3, and then just continue down the row like normal. If your little marker is on the other side, then that would have meant that you did a decrease at the beginning of this row, and that means you're going to go all the way down the row and then do a decrease at the end. But since my marker is on this side, I am not going to do a decrease at the end of the row because I already did one on this side. So just a recap, every time you're at this side and there's like this little marker here, doesn't matter if you're at the beginning or the end of the row, that means that you need to make a decrease there. For every single row, until you only have 33 stitches left. So that's 3 cables, 1, 2, 3. And then you've got your 8 in between, 8 in between, 4 at the end, and 1 at the end here. So that means we're eliminating an entire cable. So I'm going to keep doing those decreases and show you how it got to this point. So like I said, I already made my decrease on this side, so I'm just going to do just a regular row of what I've been doing with the cabling, chain 3, and then keep coming back, and then I will meet you there. So I went all the way down the row to the end and came all the way back, and now I only have 2 stitches left. So since we're on the side with a little marker, I'm going to make another decrease, chain 3, flip my work. Since we're still on the side with the paper clip, I'm making another decrease right away, and now just going to continue down the row like normal. And I believe that it is the next like set of decreases where it gets a little bit wonky because we're going to run into our cabling, and that's when we need to ditch it. So I'm just going to go all the way down the row and all the way back until I only have 2 stitches left. So I'm going to go all the way down the row and all the way back, but I'm going to stop right before the cabling so I can just like tell you what to do for the decreases. Okay, so as you can see, there's only 1 stitch left after our 4 cabling pieces. So there's 4 pieces that are in your cabling and then 1 stitch left here that's not part of it. So just for the sake of making things easy, I'm going to do 3 stitches just in like those posts. I know that you've been crossing for the rest of this row if you did like the same sizing as me, but just go in the posts for 3 of them. And then just for the decrease, you're going to go into the top of that little cabled piece and make a decrease. Chain 3, flip your work, and we're still on the side where we're making decreases. So again, we are going to go into that first stitch, into the second, and that's a decrease. And now we are just going to pretend that that cable no longer exists. It is dead to us, all right? So we're just going to go into the tops of those stitches. We don't even need to think about it anymore. So the rest of your decreases on this side will be so simple, all right? Because we have no more cabling to even think about. So I'll show you with my one that already exists. So we are like right here is where we abandon the cabling. And we're just going to keep going up, decreasing 1 on every row until you only have 1 stitch left up here at the top. So you've got your 4 pieces that are part of your cabling right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. See that? Yep. And I just answered my own question. I hear myself do that all the time. I'm sorry. I'm trying. Anyways, so I have these 4 pieces that are cabled, and then I just have that 1 stitch left. And that's it. Nice and simple, nice and easy, and that's where you're just going to end off. And I will see you when I get there. Alright, so now that you've decreased to the size that you need, all you need to do just at the end here is chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. And now do the same thing on the other side, but make sure now you've got pieces that like one side goes out like that and the other side goes out like that. And now we're going to work on the sleeves. So now we're going to work on the arms. For the arms, we're sticking to the same pattern that we already did for your sleeve. For like everything else, we're following the exact same cabling method. So figure out how big you want your panel to be. And you're going to make your chain like how big circumference wise you will need it around. Make sure that it fits all the way up to your shoulder, because we're going to be making a rectangle that how it goes like wide is how big it is to go around your arm, around that way, and then how many rows will determine how long it will be. So I did a chain of 60 plus 2 so that you can turn at the end. You got to make sure that it is a multiple of 12 plus 2. So 62 or whatever. And then do a whole bunch of rows so that it goes all the way from the tip of your shoulder down to your wrist. You can make it a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, but just keep doing the rows of what we've already been doing, a big long rectangle, and then I'll show you how to make the wrist cuff so that it like tightens up around your wrist. So I have finished my sleeve and I made it 42 rows long. Yeah, that makes sense. But also keep in mind, I'm pretty long as a person, so you might need shorter sleeves, or if you're taller than me, then you might need longer sleeves, just depending on like whatever feels right. You can just like hold it up to your arm and see how much you actually need, holding it up to just like the tip of your shoulder. But now I'm going to show you how to do the wrist cuff. So see how like even on just like this hoodie that I'm wearing, it comes in a little bit tighter just on my wrist. So that's what we're going to do. So we are just going to pretend that the cabling doesn't exist anymore. We do not even need to think about cabling anymore. Thank goodness. And we are going to make a decrease pretty much in every stitch. So insert into your first row, pull through 1, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the next one, pull through 1, pull through 2, and then pull through all 3. Then you're going to go into your next stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, yarn over again, into the next stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, and pull through all 3. And again, go to the next stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, yarn over again, into the next stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 3. So it's slowly like bringing it inward, so it's going to be half the like width that it was, so it'll be a good cuff size. And you're going to do that all the way down to the end of your row. Super nice, super simple. And then from now going forward, your rows are actually going to take less time because there will be less stitches for you to do, which is awesome. And we're getting closer to the end, which is also yay. So I'm just going to keep on going all the way down, and I will meet you when I get to the end of the row. All right, so I did that row of decreases, and it might not look like you decreased that much, but when you go on and do your next row, you'll see it really like cinch in because you've effectively divided it in half now. So now I chain 3 at the end, and now I'm just going to do a regular row of double crochets. Super simple. And I'm just going to keep going down to the end of the row. So if you don't want to include the stripes, then you can just continue doing a couple more rows of just the white. But if you are doing the stripes and doing the red or folklore version, you're just going to chain 1 at the end, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. Then you're going to grab a piece of your contrasting yarn. I'm doing red because red's my favorite album. I just made a slip knot, inserting my hook, and I've got to flip my work. And now I'm going to insert my hook into that first stitch, make a slip stitch, chain 1, and now we are going to put a single crochet in that very first stitch where we just put that slip stitch. So I inserted my hook without yarning over, pull 1 through, pull through 2. Next stitch, pull through 1, pull through 2, 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 just like that, all the way down until you get to the end, and then we're going to switch back to the white and then switch back to the red. So I will meet you at the end of this row. So once you get to the end of that row with the red, you're going to chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. You're going to grab your white again, make a slip knot, put it on your hook, flip your work, and in that first stitch you are going to insert your hook and make a slip stitch, chain 1, and put a single crochet in that same hole, and single crochet all the way down the row, all the way to the end. And then you are going to repeat the same process with one more stripe of red and one more stripe of white. You might want to do more stripes of white at the end, but by now you should know the mechanics of it. You can just do it with your heart. And I'll show you how many I ended up doing just based on the vibes that I was feeling. So yeah, nice and easy single crochets. And since we've decreased our stitches by so much, like we really don't, it's only like 30 stitches for me now, which is nice. Okay, so I did one red row. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be like a tongue twister. One red row, then one white row, one red row, and then a white row. That was tough to get out. That was like total tongue twister. Anyhow, then I realized that we haven't done single crochets yet in this like project. So once you get to the end of the row for a single crochet, you don't chain 3 times like you do with the double crochet we've been doing the whole time. You only need to chain once at the end of the row and then just start doing it. So once you've finished your 1, 2, 3, 4, the tongue twister of one red, one white, one red, one white. Now I'm going to add 3 or 4 more rows of just white single crochet. And then once you're satisfied with the length of your cuff, then you can snip and tie off. So now we are going to work on the stars. I apologize for the noise. My parents have some friends over. But we're gonna start with a magic circle. So we're gonna start with the red end of our yarn and hold up 2 fingers just like this with the end pointing downwards. Then we are going to wrap around just like this and make a cross over the back tops of your fingers. I'm just going to separate it a little bit so it's easier to see. And I'm holding it with my thumb down against my ring finger. So that's the shape that we are making. Now I'm going to take my hook. For this part, I'm actually going to use a smaller hook so that my stars will be smaller, but you can definitely use the hook that you've been using this whole time. Up to you. So I'm taking my hook underneath that top one, and I'm going to grab with my hook right onto this piece of yarn and pull underneath. And as I did that, I twisted it towards me. So I'm just going to undo it and show you again. Underneath that top piece, pull and twist. And now again, I'm going to go underneath this part, right there, and pull that through the loop. Okay, hard part's over. Now that's locked into place. You can drop that end now. And now we are going to make 14 single crochets in this circle. So I'm going to insert my hook into the middle of the circle, pick up that one piece of yarn underneath, and pull through the 2 loops. So that's 1, insert, pull through the 2, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. All right, now you should have that little tail that's left over. Make sure that nothing is twisted, so all of your little stitches are facing the outside, not twisted like that. So make sure it's nice and even, and grab onto that tail and pull tightly. See how it closed up the center there? Perfection. And now just here, you're So see how there's a bit of a separation there? I'm just inserting my hook into the other side and making a slip stitch just to close up the circle. And I'm pulling tight, 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 tight. And now I'm going to chain 6 now that I have my perfect circle. And now that I have my perfect circle, I'm going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not in the first loop from the hook, but the second one, you're going to insert your hook and make a single crochet. In the next stitch, you're going to yarn over and make a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert, pull through 1, pull through all 3. In the next one, you're going to make a double crochet. So insert, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. And so in that last chain, you're going to yarn over and put another double crochet. So pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2. And that's your first point of the star. So now you're going to count 2 stitches, 1, 2, and insert into the third and make a slip stitch. So we've got 1 point of our star. Now we're going to chain 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do the exact same thing. So single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and double crochet. Count 2, 1, 2, and into the third, make a slip stitch, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and double crochet. Then count 1, 2 into the third, make a slip stitch, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make a single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and double crochet. Count 2, 1, 2 into the third, slip stitch, chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet, and double crochet. Now we count 1, 2 into the third, and this is our very last one. So it's a little bit tight, so I'm still making my slip stitch. Then we chain 1, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. And there we are. That's a little star to go on our elbows. So there's 3 for each side, 3 for each like elbow part. So you know, make 5 more. And then we'll have like all of our pieces to put together the cardigan. There's a couple more steps after that, but we have all of our pieces. Very exciting. But yeah, super cute. Okay, so I'm gonna make 5 more of those. Okay, everybody, so now we've got all of our pieces together. So I've got my back panel. I have my 2 front panels that have like the V-neck. I don't know why I can't talk today. Anyhow, so you have those 2 front panels, and then you have 2 sleeves. Set the sleeves aside for now and pick up your back panel. And I want you to set the back panel so that the front side is facing you. So the cabling is facing you. Then I want you to lay down one of your front panels, where the V is going out to the right. Lay that on the right side with the front of that piece facing down onto the front of your back piece. Now we are going to grab our yarn, make a slip knot, put it on your hook. And now I'm going to pick up both pieces, that front panel as well as the back panel, and line up the corners like that. Then I'm going to just insert my hook and make a single crochet. So pull through one, pull through two. Now you can see the stitches should line up. See that? So I have a stitch there, stitch there, stitch there. So now you're just going to go down the row, going in both the front piece and the back piece, and make single crochets down the row. And you're going to continue with those single crochets until you get to the end of your front piece. Then you're just going to snip and tie off and do the exact same thing on the other side. So I've gotten to the end here, chain one, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. It's a little bit difficult with my nails. Anyhow, now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. I'm lying down my front panel so that the front side, the cabling, is facing the front side cabling of the back. And now, since I need to crochet from right to left, I'm actually going to just like flip over the work, just so that it's easier for me to line up. And again, I'm just going to grab my yarn. Oops. Grab my yarn, make a slip knot. Match up the corners. Insert. And single crochet all the way down the row, making sure that your stitches are lined up. And yeah, same thing. And tie off once you get to the end of your front piece. So now that you have your front panels on, just like that, we're going to attach the sleeves. So you actually want to fold the sleeves like hot dog style, so that the good side, the cabling, is on the inside. So fold it like that and pinch that edge. Now with a stitch marker or even just like an extra piece of yarn, where you pinched, attach that like top middle stitch to the top corner of like your top, just like that. And now we're going to attach our just one part of the sleeve to the front part, and the other part is going to attach to the back panel. So again, I'm making a slip knot, putting it on my hook, lay it out so it is flat, your sleeve part, but so that it's not stretched out. And now I'm just going to grab this front panel, which is like the angled front piece, insert my hook, and insert my hook into the edge of the sleeve. And again, just make a single crochet and just go down the row up until you get to your little stitch marker. Just making single crochets to attach the sleeve to like your front kind of like vest part. I'm still kind of like pinching them together. Oops. And so I'm just kind of like continuing, and I can remove my stitch marker at this point. It's pretty much attached. And just keep going with the rest of the sleeve. You're just going to keep on attaching until you get to the end of it. So I'm just going to keep going. There's no defined stitches, so like you don't need to like worry that much. Just kind of going off of the vibes. And now I've gotten to the end, so I can just chain one, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. Okay, so now this is what you're working with. You just attach the sleeve on. So now we just need to sew up the side. So all the way up here, and then sew the sleeve together because currently it's like a flap. So I want you to line up your two ends here. Grab your yarn, make a slip knot, insert your hook, and now I'm grabbing the ends, making sure that they're lined up nicely with each other, inserting my hook into both pieces, and making a single crochet. Now I'm just going to single crochet up the side. And so I'm just going to keep going up the side until I get here. You don't even need to like tie off or anything. just make sure that you've pinched together your two pieces, they're lined up nicely, and then keep making single crochets all the way down until you get to your wrist part, and then you can just snip and tie off and repeat on the other side. And now we've actually got something that looks like a cardigan together, so yay. Okay, so now that we have the cardigan like all together, now we're gonna work on like the kind of like stripes that go around the edges. So, taking my yarn, making a slip knot, putting it on my hook, and then I'm just going to attach just on the side, either side, doesn't matter, and make a single crochet. Now we are going to single crochet all the way down the bottom here. We're not attaching the two pieces together, you're only working in the front part. And you're going to continue doing single crochets all the way down here. Come around the corner, keep going all the way up here, around the back neck part, down, back around, down again. Then you're going to go all the way back down the back side until you get back to where you started. We are just making single crochets in every single stitch. Very, very simple, just time consuming. Once you have gone all the way around and back to where you started, stop and I will meet you there. Very time consuming, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. You don't need to worry about any corners or anything, just keep going with the flow. It starts off easy on parts like the bottom as well as back here, but when you go up the sides, there's no defined stitches. So try your best to put maybe one stitch in each row. See how there's like, that's one row, that's one row. Just try to put a stitch in each one like that. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep going and I'll meet you back. Alright, so we've gone like all the way around the cardigan and we're back to where we started. So now I'm just going to go into that very first stitch, make a slip stitch, chain one, and then start another row of single crochet. You're going to do just the exact same thing over again and go all the way around that whole loop thing, and then we'll meet back here because then we're going to add in our red strip. So yeah, just one more row going around all of the edges. Yeah, simple. Okay, so now I've done my second row of just regular single crochets, and I'm right back where I started. So I'm just going to make one more single crochet, chain one, pull up a little bit, snip, and tie off. Now I'm going to grab my red yarn, make a slip knot, insert my hook, and I'm going to insert my hook right where I tied off. I'm making a slip stitch, chain one, and put a single crochet in that very same hole that you just put your slip stitch in. Now I'm just going to do an entire row all the way around, like just what we did with the white yarn, but in red. Just single crochets, just like that. Super simple. And so I'll put a little graphic on the screen. So we did 2 rows of white, then we're going to do a row of red, then a row of white, then a row of red, and then finish off with a couple more rows of white. So exactly what we did for our sleeves, pretty much. we've got 2 whites, then red, white, red, then a couple more rows of white. Very simple. And so each time you switch the colors, just attach it the way that we just attached that red. And just keep going around and around. This is a little bit time consuming, but like we're getting close to the end, so it's kind of exciting. Like you can actually like see it coming together now. Okay, so I'm going to do this and I will meet you back when I have that done. So just to show you guys one more time, I'm making a slip stitch, chain 1, pull up, snip with my tiny baby scissors, tie off, grab my white yarn, make a slip knot, insert my hook, and where I tied off, see right there, I'm inserting my hook, making a slip stitch, chain 1, and a single crochet into that same hole. Now I'm just going to go around with the white all the way around and around and around and around and around and around. And yeah, super simple. Yeah. And then repeat with 1 more row of red and then just a couple more rows of white. You don't need to chop off every row for the white. You can just like keep going. Alright, so now I want you to turn your work so it's right side facing out. So the way that we've been sewing it up has been so that like the inside is on the inside and the outside's on the outside. And then you're going to take your stars. I tried on my sweater to figure out where exactly I want to place my stars, and so I measured out to about right here. Now I've cut a piece of my red yarn, so it's about the length from my fingertips to my elbow crease, and that's folded in half, so it's actually double that length. Now I'm just taking one end and putting it into a darning needle. You could also do this with just a regular sewing needle and some matching red thread, but since I already had this on hand, why not? So you're just going to place your star where you want it to go and make sure that you're only going through like one part of your arm. You don't want it to go all the way through because then you will sew your armhole shut. So I'm starting by like pinching a piece of my sleeve and sticking my needle through both the sleeve and the star. And now I'm just going to tie a knot just between two of the star points. So tie like that. And one more time so that it is secure. And now you're just going to go and make a couple more stitches going through your star and through your sleeve. Just a couple of times just so that it is secure. If you're using like the matching thread, then it's actually kind of easy because you can just be messy with it and it won't matter. I'm putting like a stitch kind of per each point of the star so that it lays down nicely. And now that I have all of my points laid nicely, I'm just going to take the two ends and tie them together. You can snip off the excess and then attach your two more stars on and then add your other stars to the other side. I think it's just kind of like that. So 1, 2, 3. So now I'm going to attach the buttons. So these ones I just had on hand and they're a pretty great color match for my red yarn. So I'm just going to use these. With these I need to attach them with a needle and thread. But if you had something more like this with like bigger holes that I think is more authentic to like Taylor's sweater, you could just attach this with your yarn and darning needle. So these buttons just have like a little loop. I don't know why it's not focusing, but it's got like just a little loop. So I'm just going to place it where I want it to go. And just run my needle and thread through it a couple of times. Because there's so many holes in this, you want to kind of like go in from a bunch of different angles so that it actually gets secured. And then to tie it off, I'm just tying a knot. And just a couple more over top of it so it stays. And there's a secure button. Now I'm going to add my other one on. So if you need a button loop, what you're going to do is make a slip knot, put that on your hook, and then line up your two edges so that they're nicely lined up. Insert your hook into just one of the stitches there, make a slip knot, and then depending how big your button is, you want to make a chain of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so, depending on how big your button is, and then skip one less than how many chains you made. So I chain 6, so I'm just going to skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, put it into that 5th one, make a slip stitch, chain 1, pull up a little bit, and snip. And tie off. And now that is like my little buttonhole, so it attaches. Perfect, so now I'm actually going to attach my other button in my other buttonhole. And we're coming to the end, yay! Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. If you guys make this, I would love to see it, so send me a picture or a video or anything. But yeah, have a good day. I love you. Bye!